Ben is a university student with extraordinary memory and quick calculation skills, akin to a living computer. However, he faces a significant obstacle: tuition fees. The colossal tuition cost of $300,000 for the medical research program at Harvard University puts him under immense financial pressure. Despite his outstanding academic performance securing him direct admission, Ben cannot afford to pay such an amount. To earn money for his education, Ben tried everything, from working part-time to saving up, but the low wages from his jobs made his future seem bleak. One day, feeling frustrated, Ben went to a bar with his two best friends to relieve stress. They sat lamenting their lives as bookworms who knew nothing about love, while Ben secretly admired his classmate Jill, a beautiful, intelligent girl who was cold and distant. Ben's insecurity prevented him from confessing his feelings, especially since Jill was always surrounded by charming admirers. Everything changed one day during a math class when Professor Mickey presented an extremely complex probability problem that no one in the class could solve except for Ben. His exceptional calculation skills greatly impressed Professor Mickey. A few days later, Ben was called to the professor's office, where he met 4 other students, including Jill. Professor Mickey revealed that he had formed a secret group called 21 Blackpink, with the aim of using superior intellect to cheat and win at major casinos. Mickey believed that Ben was the perfect addition to the group because of his outstanding calculation skills. However, Ben immediately declined the invitation, insisting that he only wanted to focus on his studies and avoid anything illegal. But the presence of Jill and Mickey's persistent persuasion made Ben begin to reconsider. Would he be willing to compromise his principles to achieve his goals? From this point, Ben's life took a completely different turn. Mickey did not force Ben, but simply told him to think it over. However, just a few days later, Jill approached Ben and invited him to join the group. The invitation from the girl he had long admired was something Ben could not refuse. Under the heavy weight of financial pressure and the allure of getting closer to Jill, Ben agreed immediately without a second thought. For Ben, this seemed like the only way to afford his tuition in such a short time. After Ben joined, Mickey began to train him systematically. Besides Ben, the group included Fisher, Choi, and Kiana. Fisher was the current main player, while Choi and Kiana took on supportive roles. When Ben joined, he was trained to become one of the main players of the team. Mickey explained in detail the strategies and principles of the game Blackjack 21. In each round, players are initially dealt 2 cards. The goal is to get as close to 21 points as possible without exceeding it. What set the group apart was their ability to memorize the cards that had already been dealt and calculate the probability of winning based on them. The probability formula invented by Mickey was not complicated but required extraordinary memory and quick calculation skills, traits Ben possessed in abundance. According to the plan, the 3 support players would enter the casino first and play at different tables to gather data. They would calculate and identify the table with the highest winning probability. Once their calculations reached the limit, they would use a signal to call in the main player. The main player, like Ben or Fisher, would continue the calculations and place large bets at the selected table. This was when they reaped substantial rewards. After half a month of training, Ben quickly mastered the group's techniques and strategies. Seeing that everyone was ready, Mickey decided to take the entire team to Las Vegas, the world's most extravagant gambling destination. At the airport, the team concealed a large amount of cash on themselves and passed security checks smoothly. On the plane, Ben felt both nervous and excited. Las Vegas, a city that never sleeps, was both a paradise and a place where countless dreams were shattered. Ben wondered if he would succeed or fail on this risky journey, but he remained filled with hope. Mickey, acting as the team's commander, did not participate in the games directly but stayed at the hotel, monitoring and coordinating remotely. Ben's team had now become a well-trained machine ready to face the challenges of Las Vegas casinos. Jill, along with Choi and Kiana, entered the casino first to scout and choose the table with the highest winning probability. Once the signal was sent, Ben immediately joined in. The table chosen by the group initially had a winning probability of only 16%, but with the group's calculated support, Ben confidently stepped into the game. As the dealer dealt the cards, Ben's genius brain began working at full speed. Numbers, probabilities, and strategies whirled in his mind, allowing him to demonstrate his extraordinary calculation ability. For the first time, Ben realized that mathematics was not just a dry subject but could also be a powerful tool for earning money. While other players lost and left the table, Ben remained focused, fully immersed in the world of numbers. Using precise calculations, he continuously won, and the stacks of chips in front of him grew larger and larger. The game lasted until dawn. When Choi gave the signal to withdraw, Ben stopped playing immediately, leaving the table discreetly without any greed. At the hotel, the team gathered to tally their winnings. In total, they earned $50,000. Mickey took half to distribute, evenly among the team and to maintain their operational funds for future games. The remaining amount was divided equally among the members, with Ben receiving $5,000, an amount far greater than anything he had ever earned from part-time jobs. Mickey was very pleased with Ben's first performance and praised him in front of the entire group. That night, the group returned to the casino. This time, with experience from the previous night, Ben confidently increased his bets from the start. Thanks to accurate calculations and smooth coordination with his team, Ben continued to secure significant wins. In just 2 short days, Ben's winnings had reached an astonishing amount. On the 3rd day, Ben returned to school carrying the money he had hidden in his dormitory ceiling. He told himself that at the current rate of earning, the enormous tuition fee would no longer be an issue in just a few months. However, from that point onward, Ben's life officially split into 2 separate worlds. During the day, he remained a model student, a true bookworm. But at night in the casinos, he transformed into a top-notch blackjack player, racking up win after win. The money Ben earned in a single night was 15 times more than his wages from part-time jobs. The enormous numbers and the thrill of winning made Ben start to feel the true power of money. It was far greater than he had ever imagined. The sense of victory, the excitement, and the compliments from his team caused Ben to gradually immerse himself in the gambling world. The casino's head of security, Cole, was an experienced gambler with sharp skills in card counting. He quickly noticed the unusual presence of Ben, a young player who consistently won large sums. Although card counting is not illegal, private casinos in Las Vegas considered it a major threat. Thus, Cole began to silently monitor Ben, waiting for the right opportunity to expose him. As Ben's skills improved, he quickly became the backbone of the team, threatening Fisher's position. Fisher's jealousy toward Ben grew stronger and tensions between them escalated. During one strategic discussion, the tension exploded. Fisher deliberately provoked Ben, and unable to hold back, the two ended up fighting in front of the entire group. The commotion alerted Cole, who had been watching from nearby, to take action immediately. He led security staff into the casino, forcing the group to flee in chaos. Ben only had time to grab the chips before escaping. After this incident, Mickey was deeply disappointed with Fisher. He decided to kick Fisher out of the team, officially making Ben the sole main player. Fisher left in bitterness, while Ben stepped into the most glorious phase of his life. Under Ben's leadership, the team continued to achieve massive wins. He quickly began living a luxurious lifestyle that had previously only existed in his dreams. A single night at the casino could bring him an easy $200,000. From a simple dorm room, he moved into a luxurious house. His mode of transportation was no longer a rusty bicycle, but a lavish limousine. Shopping sprees with the team became a routine, and Ben started to treat money as if it had no real value. This extravagant lifestyle also drew Jill's attention. From being distant and cold, Jill gradually fell for Ben's charm. The two quickly became a couple, and the once aloof goddess turned into Ben's devoted companion. However, with luxury came serious problems. Ben spent so much time at the casino that his academics at school began to suffer. Previously, he and his 2 best friends had collaborated on an important research project, but Ben's repeated absences strained their friendship. One day, after a heated argument, his 2 friends decided to sever ties with him. The breakdown in his friendships left Ben feeling despondent, but instead of confronting reality, he sought refuge in the casinos. However, his unstable emotional state affected his focus. He repeatedly made critical errors in calculations, leading to a streak of devastating losses. Jill tried to stop him, but Ben ignored her advice and continued to gamble recklessly. In one game, Ben lost the entire $200,000 he had worked so hard to earn. This failure threw the group into disarray. Mickey, who always insisted on strict adherence to rules, was furious and scolded Ben for his carelessness and stubbornness. But Ben, harboring pent-up resentment, argued back. He openly criticized Mickey, accusing him of sitting idly by while always taking half of the winnings. The argument reached a boiling point. In anger, Mickey packed his belongings and left the team, leaving Ben and the remaining members to face the consequences. Now the sole leader, Ben realized that the wealth and power he had achieved came with a steep price. The pieces of his life began to fall apart, and danger continued to lurk around the corner. It all felt like a beautiful dream Ben didn't want to wake up from. However, his consecutive victories had made Ben complacent. His overconfidence blinded him to the fact that behind the dazzling lights of the casino, danger was quietly closing in, waiting for the right moment to strike. Ben refused to accept defeat. After everything that had happened, he decided to return and lead the team, confident that they could continue to win big without Mickey. Despite Jill's attempts to advise him, Ben had become too arrogant and refused to listen to anyone. He led the group back to the casino, trying to adjust his mindset to regain his performance. However, Ben had no idea that Mickey had not truly left. Mickey, filled with disappointment and anger at Ben's betrayal, decided to teach him a lesson. He secretly called the casino to report Ben's group. Cole, who had been watching Ben for a while, immediately led his team to arrest him. The other members of the group, realizing the danger, quickly withdrew, leaving Ben alone to face the consequences. Ben was taken to a dark room where he had to confront Cole. It turned out that Cole and Mickey were rivals in the past. Years ago, Mickey had used his card-counting talent to bankrupt a casino owned by Cole. Since then, Cole had been seeking revenge. Now, with Ben Mickey's protege in his grasp, Cole showed no mercy. Ben was brutally beaten and permanently banned from entering any casinos in Las Vegas. With his body battered and bruised, Ben limped back to school. But the nightmare didn't end there. Mickey's revenge continued. He used his authority to give Ben a 0 in his math course, which meant that Ben would not be able to graduate. When Ben returned to his dorm room, he found it had been ransacked. The hundreds of thousands of dollars he had hidden in the ceiling had been taken by Mickey's orders. The feeling of betrayal and losing everything plunged Ben into despair. With no one else to turn to, he sought out his former friend, whom he had previously argued with, and shared everything that had happened. This friend encouraged Ben, telling him that money wasn't everything and that he needed to find strength and rediscover himself. These words gave Ben the motivation to bounce back. After regaining his composure, Ben decided to plan one final operation, a big move to reclaim everything he had lost. He knew that Mickey valued money above all else, and this was his weakness. Ben approached Mickey, apologized, and expressed his desire to work together again, promising to bring in more money than ever if Mickey returned to lead the group. Enticed by the prospect of earning a fortune, Mickey agreed to come back. He also restored Ben's grades, allowing him to graduate successfully. However, the money Mickey had taken remained with him, serving as a punishment for Ben's betrayal. Although he got a second chance, Ben realized that his life had changed forever. The painful lessons he had experienced would serve as his guide moving forward. But the question remained, would Ben truly learn to let go of his ambition and live true to his values? Or would the vortex of money and power continue to consume him? Only time would tell. Ben gathered his team once more and set off for Las Vegas. This was their final opportunity before graduation, and everyone wanted to make the most of it to achieve one last big breakthrough in their lives. This time, even Mickey, enticed by the prospect of making big money, participated directly in the games. Ben, with his extraordinary calculation skills, continued to win big in his rounds of betting. At another table, Mickey was also doing well, raking in large sums of money. The two took turns switching tables, causing significant losses to the house. However, their unusual behavior did not escape Cole's notice. With his experience and vigilance, Cole quickly recognized Mickey in disguise and led his team to make an arrest. When Ben realized Cole and the security team were closing in, he quickly collected all the chips, handed them to Mickey, and ran in another direction to create a diversion. Mickey, thinking that Ben still trusted him, took the chips and ran straight to the getaway car that had been prepared in advance. In the car, Mickey couldn't contain his excitement, laughing at the thought that the money was now his. However, when he opened the bag, Mickey was stunned to find that all the chips were fake. In reality, Ben had anticipated Mickey's greed and betrayal. He had secretly swapped the real chips for another bag before handing them to Mickey. The car that Mickey thought would take him to safety instead delivered him straight to the casino security room. At this point, Cole had arranged for Mickey to face the law. What awaited him was decades of imprisonment, putting an end to his days of manipulation and betrayal. But the story did not end there. Just as Ben was about to leave with the real chips, Cole unexpectedly appeared. It turned out that Cole had betrayed the initial agreement between the two of them. Driven by resentment and greed, Cole forced Ben to hand over all the chips. Without resisting, Ben obediently gave the chips to him. However, for a calculation genius like Ben, everything had been part of the plan. Before the game began, Ben had contacted two of his former friends who were just as skilled in calculations as he was to join him in this operation. In reality, Ben only played a supporting role, while his two friends were the main players. Thanks to a flawless plan and seamless coordination, they managed to win millions of dollars from the casinos. The chips that Ben handed to Cole were just a small portion, insignificant compared to the enormous amount they had actually won. The movie ends with a surprising twist, as the entire story is revealed to be based on true events. The character of Ben is inspired by the real-life mathematical genius Mak Hai-wen and his teammates, who turned $100,000 into $5 million using calculation skills and card-counting strategies in major casinos. However, after their resounding victory, they were blacklisted from all of Las Vegas and permanently banned from its casinos. The story serves as a testament to the combination of intelligence and greed, while also warning about the price one must pay for making the wrong choices in life. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find it interesting, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Goodbye and see you again.